Hiya, pals, and welcome to the show. I am, of course, the Wolf of Disney, and we are joined by our good pal,
the Wookiee.
This podcast is live on all of your favorite listening apps like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and, of course, our main platform,
Anchor.
First and foremost, Wolfpack, thank you so much for listening in this week. We really appreciate it. I think, Ryan, last week for me, we talked a ton of Marvel, and I think that it sort of like just marveled me out. I was really glad to be done with that segment. I really enjoyed the films, but I'm sort of glad to be back into a rhythm where we're going to be talking about something different today. We're going to work our way back over to the parks, which I think is really important to me. I think that's part of the reason why I started this podcast, was to, sort of inform people about what the best things to do, the best, ways to get around the parks. That was what this podcast really originated as, and I really just wanted to make sure that we're giving tips and tricks and, some of our favorite things to do, because I think that's what sort of makes us and why we enjoy Disney and why we continue to go and all of those things. So I'm excited to do that today, but first and foremost, we're going to jump right in. Is there anything from last week that you listened, because we listened to our own show. I try to do it twice. I don't know about you, but I try to listen once from just did I enjoy it? Is it a good show? Did we put it together properly? And then I listen a second time to really just give myself the opportunity to critique it and really just see if there's something there that needs to be tightened up, worked on, things like that. So, I got to admit, I didn't necessarily enjoy that episode. I thought that we talked and rambled a lot, which is okay. That's we just talked about the movie and talked about the things that happened. But for me, I'm like I said, I'm just sort of excited to get back into some of the things that we're really good at. So, do you have any takeaways from last week's show? And I'm curious, how many times do you listen to an episode, to sort of take it all in?
Generally, at least once. Like, I've listened to every episode once. It's usually the night it comes out, truthfully, and then just like you said, kind of just for criticism and to take away things that like maybe things that we missed or stuff like that, so that we have a way to start the next episode. But
for sure,
I do try to listen a second time after I've had time to digest it, a couple days later, and then give it another listen.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to sort of self-critique yourself in everything that you do, and this is no exception, for sure. So, Mr. Wookiee, got anything that you've watched recently? I know we went through a big Marvel phase. Is there anything that sort of you've rewatched or you're watching currently that we should know about?
The only thing, I haven't really done a whole lot of watching since the last episode. Some fights this weekend, stuff like that. I just haven't really knocked anything new off the watch list.
Gotcha.
Except for I did, the only Star Wars movie I never saw was Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Oh, okay.
And I really liked Rogue One, so I was kind of excited to see if another side story was going to be as interesting. Rogue One ties directly into like the originals, so there's kind of like that nostalgia factor.
Sure.
This didn't really have that.
Yeah.
But it's a fun story, but it doesn't really it doesn't tie into like the other movies. Like, you're not, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it was a good movie, but it didn't really have any value in terms of watching the overall landscape of all the Star Wars movies. It was just kind of like a throw-in fun little thing.
Gotcha. I'm sort of curious because you're right. We are kind of in a stage where like we're almost, I don't want to say Disneyed out, because we're the two guys that could talk Disney all the time. But I'm curious, when you sort of feel like you're in a situation where you just want to watch one of the classics. Is there a particular one that you sort of go to, and whether that's by yourself or with your family or whatever? Is there a couple that you just sort of know the moment you put them on that you'll be all good?
Yeah, like when we're playing like Call of Duty or something at night, sometimes I'll like just throw on something just for background noise.
Yeah.
Like something that you've already seen, so you can kind of like zone in and out.
Right.
Not to get back into this, but it's generally Infinity War.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I've watched that movie like 100 times.
Okay.
If I had to talk about like the classics, Yeah, like Lion King or like honestly Monsters Inc. I've put on a couple times.
Oh
now,
wow, that's
recently.
actually that's a pretty good choice.
I don't know what it is. Those two, like just Mike and Sully. Like I can't, even though I already know exactly what's gonna happen. Like I love their interaction. I think they're just wicked fun, like funny characters.
Yeah, I think for me, when Jen and I just need a movie and we're trying to find something new and exciting, or we're trying to find something and we just simply can't. I think it's that moment where you're just trying to find something with the clicker. I think for us, it's always Up or Wall-E. We can always put those two on and we'll know that we'll get a laugh or get some type of reaction pretty quickly. So to watch those, it usually is, two of our favorites. And then I think, if I were to go even deeper into the classics, Aladdin is going to be one of the top ones, and Lion King, like you said. Those two films right there are going to be, 1-2 sort of in a way. And just getting back into sort of a Disney feeling when you're trying to maybe find something different on TV, it's just not happening. That's sort of a good way to make that happen. So
yeah, I mean, Lion King is never. You can never go wrong with Lion King.
Yeah, for sure. So with the release of Mulan, I know we both sort of said that we were going to wait on that, but one thing I found really interesting in just sort of looking at Disney News is they got a huge spike in downloads for Disney Plus. So they must have done something right. I think $30 for the movie itself was a little much, but like I said before, when you're asking someone to go to Target or Walmart to pay $30 for the movie, this is sort of the same thing. You just got to sign up for the monthly subscription. So I sort of see both sides. I did just find it interesting that downloads were up, and that's a good thing for them. That just means they're earning a little bit more money for sure.
Like if you go on like the movie pages, like the movie review pages, I've heard a lot of negative things.
Sure.
But if you go on the Disney pages, like For the Love of Disney or any of these Facebook groups that we're in, they all say they loved it.
Right.
So it's like the Disney diehards seem to love this movie, but
the critics
did
not so much. No, and I think for us too, we sort of talked about it already, but when you get rid of the music, you get rid of Mushu, you get rid of sort of that cartoony feel to it, doesn't necessarily feel like a remake. It does sort of start to feel like a brand new film, a whole different side of the story. But yeah, I'll be excited to see it when it's part of the Disney Plus that I'm already paying for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pay the $30. I'll find a way to watch it.
There you go.
But I do think that was a different approach with this movie, like Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Jungle Book. I'm forgetting another one.
Aladdin. They did Cinderella recently.
I feel like those movies tried to be the originals, just
with real people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like Mulan is trying to actually tell the truthful story of Mulan. Not right. It's not supposed to be cute and fun and sing along. Like it. I feel like there's just...
Let's get down to business.
I mean, that's a great song.
It was.
That was one of the good takeaways.
One of the actually good songs of that film, and I don't even think it's in this movie.
No.
They really got down to business. Yeah, it certainly is interesting, but like I said, I thought it was really interesting that downloads for it were up because of the film. So, interesting takeaway. I don't know if it's just Disney just pumping the numbers to make it look better, but overall, that's a good thing for the company overall. Some other news that just came out, Ryan, and I know, actually I'm not too sure, but Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has now officially been canceled. So that is, I think of the two parties, Halloween and Christmas, I think Christmas was my favorite because it snows on Main Street and it just feels and is fun, pretty good. So... definitely disappointed to see that go because I think for me that's really exciting. I really enjoy that, but obviously that needed to happen. I think with taking away the Halloween's not so scary. I think that's part of it, but it is what it is. Also, they're getting rid of the candlelight holiday dream. I'm not sure what is it. Just a processional?
Yeah.
Do you go to those, or are those something that you've been to?
Not really.
Gotcha.
again, like when my parents went to the parks, it was something we'd check out. But now that it's just me and my brother, me and John, who we've had on,
Yep.
we are kind of walking right by that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know like these have been gone for a while, but like the Osborne lights,
Yeah.
my dad was a huge fan of those.
Gotcha.
I don't. It just doesn't really do anything for me. But like, it's definitely like the work that goes into it is definitely something to appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, for someone who is a first-time goer or someone, who's just trying to get as much experiences at the park as possible, those are definite stops. Those are definite things. I mean, they usually have, I know Neil Patrick Harris is a big speaker at those. He does a lot of those. John Stamos is another one. So it also gives you sort of that opportunity to see some celebrity. And I think for so many people, that's just another opportunity to sort of see the stars and be a part of that something bigger than themselves. And, it's interesting. Jennifer and I went to one, I think it was for John Stamos, a few years back. And again, it's just one of those where you don't have to go if you've gone many times, or even if you go once. I don't know that you necessarily have to go again and again and again, unless there's a particular person that you're very excited to see, or there's, you're a big Neil Patrick, Harris fan, or John Stamos, those two prominent figures that are very popular. That gives you sort of that opportunity to get out there and see those people. But it's not for something that I need to go do every single time, for sure. So I think today, what we're going to do, Wolfpack, is we're going to put together our top 5 restaurants and include one that we haven't done. So top 5 places that we love to eat. We're going to talk about some of our favorite dishes when we go. And what I thought would be fun is if we could take one particular restaurant that we haven't been to and talk about it, take a look at their menu, and tell our Wolfpack what we would eat if we went there. So I think this will be fun. Hopefully this will be sort of a fun activity for you to do at home as well with the kids and with the family. Sort of decide, what are your top 5 restaurants? So the way that I try to look at that is if you have 5 days sort of at Disney, what are your 5 dinner, or what are your 5 breakfasts, or what are your 5 lunches? And I'll be excited to hear. I think I know a couple of yours already, Ryan, because we've sort of talked about places to eat in the past, but I'll be looking forward to maybe the 2 or 3 others that you really, maybe haven't discussed or haven't talked about, and that'll be sort of fun. And I'm also looking forward to hearing, if there are any that you'd like to go to that maybe I've talked about that you haven't been to, and vice versa for me. So I'm excited to sort of do that with you and, sort of go down that road. That should be a lot of fun. Wolfpack, we're going to take just a short break. So go get whatever it is that you need to get done. Go mow your lawn. Go get some work done. Head into work if you're just listening in and need to put us on pause. This is sort of a great opportunity for y'all to do that. And we'll
see you real soon.
Yes, indeed we will. So, Rye, Mr. Wookiee, I'm excited to do this with you, but the first thing I want to ask you about is, what did you think of the new intro music?
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I sort of had fun with it. I wanted to make something that was going to sort of stick with you a little bit, and I thought that this was sort of a perfect mix of us. It just sort of, is fun, upbeat, and I just wanted to try something different. We're putting everything onto... We're really trying to put out the best product as possible, and we're trying to work towards, a video stream, which I know is really what you're pushing me to do and trying to push for, but I wanted to figure out the audio stuff first, and I think that's the most important part of our podcast at the moment is the audio. So I think with the iPad that I have, we've been able to sort of optimize that. But I'm excited for the way that this show is going so far. I think, just in general, we're taking baby steps rather than trying to leap right into everything. And I think, one thing that sets us apart is we do try to post something new every single week. And I think, not to put anyone else out there, but I listen to a lot of shows that I hope for, and it doesn't necessarily come from week to week. It's a couple weeks. And I know you listen to a lot of podcasts, and you get into a similar boat, like, oh, what's his name didn't put a show out this week. I was kind of disappointed. So, it's not to put shade on anyone or anything of that nature, but I enjoy that we put something out new every single week. It's pretty cool.
I have like 6 podcasts. Like one's on Monday, one's on Wednesday, 2 are on Thursday, and one's on Friday.
Right. And if one of them misses, are you upset?
Yeah. Like I have a very specific time of day that I listen to all these. Like my favorite, like Bad Friends, with 2 of my favorite comedians, is always like the first thing I watch on Monday morning. Mm-hmm. It's my later start day, so I usually get to listen before going in.
There you go.
So if I woke up on a Monday and that wasn't there for me to wake up to, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope people would get upset if we didn't put anything out too. But
I kind of hope that we're at a point where someone would get upset. Like, where the heck's the episode? That would be kind of cool. I mean, it was really, I know we already talked about it, but it was really cool when Courtney sent over her kids who were listening, and they sent the video. I thought that was really neat. It's cool to think that someone like Gene is listening. It's even cooler, I think, and I think Gene would probably agree, that someone like his kid's age is listening in too. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, our prime demographic is, what is the bracket, like 26
20
to 34?
I think it's 23 to 28 is like our main demographic, and we have over 80% men. So ladies, if you are listening, we would love to have more of your demographic listen to the show too. So, it's just really interesting to see how sort of all those demographics and all the numbers shake out. And when I started this, I will be completely honest, when I didn't really care about the numbers. I just wanted to do something fun. I wanted to do something during quarantine that was going to just sort of feed my creative outlet. And this was it. So for me, the numbers really don't matter, but it is interesting to sort of see how the numbers shake out and things of that nature. And again, I think that all just sort of feeds into, I mean, we're still small in comparison to, some of the podcasts, Disney podcasts that I listen to, but the small group of people that we have right now that are listening, and it branches all across the U.S. We have people in England and Ireland and Iraq and Iran, which is kind of different. But if you're listening, we really appreciate it. I don't want that to ever be lost on anyone. I really appreciate that you're listening to us, and hopefully that you can reach out to us, because I think that's something that, we've had a few people reach out to us and want to be involved, and that's awesome. But please know that we're here for you. We're here to help. We're here to give information. And at the moment, we're not charging anything. So feel free to reach out and pick our brain about things. We're here to help. So, Mr. Wookiee, I'm excited to hear about your 5 favorite places to eat on the resort. I'm going to give you the liberty of going first. Like I said, I know a couple of yours, but I'm interested to find out what sort of, you want to work from the 5 to 1?
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, let's work 5 to 1 and sort of go from there, because I sort of did it that way. So after you, number 5, and then we'll do the one that we'd like to go to at the end.
So up front, I have 5, but then I have like a couple honorable mentions.
All right, no problem. Yeah, so do 5 and then give me your honorables. All
right, so I have as my number 5, Rose and Crown.
Okay.
In
that's England,
the UK.
The UK was the pavilion.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I usually get the bubble and squeak.
Okay.
As like a appetizer side kind of thing.
Sure.
Just like veggies, like potatoes, cabbage, stuff like that. Have you ever had it?
I can't say that I've been there other than the window for the fish and chips.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't sat down at the actual, restaurant itself, but sounds good.
Then for dinner, I usually get the bangers and mash.
Okay.
How can you go wrong?
I'm listening. what exactly is that?
It's like sausage, potato, mushrooms.
Nice hearty meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's really that's right up my alley. And you also said that this was a cool spot to see the fireworks.
If you get Epcot. Yeah, they have like an outdoor like.
It's not a pavilion or like the patio.
Like I want to say patio, but it's like.
It's sort of just like an extension of...
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yep.
Yeah, we got sat out there one night when it actually wasn't very busy, and the fireworks were going on, because it's where I was sitting. It was right to my left, like the water was right there.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That sounds like a pretty cool spot. So, You also said you had a couple of honorable mentions. So these would be like number 6, number 7, number 8. What are those for you? And just you can just tell us what they would be in terms of the restaurant itself. You don't have to tell us what you're eating unless you'd like to.
I've only been to Jico once.
Okay.
Over at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
But like I tried all kinds of stuff I'd never had there before,
Sure.
like wild boar and all kinds of things that you don't see on a common menu. So it was kind of fun.
And that's where your friend that you sort of made over there. That's where he worked, right?
The gentleman Sikambuso, yeah.
Yeah.
His mom cooked for Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
When he was in prison.
That's right. Yep.
After that, over at Disney Springs, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
Right.
It's like it basically looks like it's a tiny little place, but it looks like you're inside of a little building that's built out of airplane parts.
Very cool.
And Jock Lindsay is Indiana Jones's pilot.
Yep.
Okay, so there's even like the snake cage and everything.
That's really cool.
For Reggie.
Yep.
And then the only other one I didn't make my list, but definitely needed a mention was the hibachi place over in Japan.
Oh yeah, Teppanyaki for sure.
Great one.
It is. I'm going to get into that one later on. It's one of my top 5.
Oh, okay, perfect. Then I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about that.
We've been there a couple times. My parents love going to, God, I don't remember the name of it either, but in China.
Oh, the China Pavilion, yep.
Not my favorite.
No, I got to say it's not my favorite either, but...
They love it, so whatever. I'm not going to rain on their parade.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, those are my 3 honorable mentions, and then Rose and Crown. We've had some good experiences there.
Oh, that's awesome. So my number 5 is actually a quick service. Mm-hmm. It's actually over at the Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios, and it's going to be Woody's Lunchbox. And I started off with like a lunch option because I think that this is sort of the most underrated meal throughout the course of your entire day. Not a whole lot of people are thinking about lunch, but if you skip breakfast, I think this is sort of a great place to just stop and get something that's sort of going to get you to dinner. That's sort of the way that I like to think about it. So Woody's Lunchbox for me is number 5. I get the grilled 3-cheese sandwich and a grown-up lemonade. And you, Wolfpack, may have heard me talk about this grown-up lemonade before, but this grown-up lemonade is one of the best I've ever had. It is delicious. And again, the 3-cheese grilled cheese, it may sound silly, but again, this is just a quick meal. It's inexpensive, and it's going to get me and hold me over until I get down to a nice dinner that I'm going to be maybe sitting at later. So definitely would put Woody's Lunchbox at number 5 for me, so definitely go check that out for sure. Mr. Wookiee, you're number 4. I'm excited to hear where you're heading next.
See, I didn't even think of like quick service places. That like kind of shifts my whole list here.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll be honest, that's the only one that I have. And maybe an honorable mention would be the Starlight Cafe, because you have, you can get chicken tenders, burgers, but you have just like a little bit of entertainment that's very Disney-esque that goes along with it. So, I'm sort of excited now if you're going to add something or to take away something. So, don't feel like you have to. But what is your number 4?
Yeah, see, like I would have put like Pico's Bill or something on there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think of like quick service meals. Or even like the place by the pool at the beach club.
Hurricane Hannah's.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Really
That's a good one too, for sure.
But I had number 4. I had ESPN Club.
Oh, okay.
Kind of simple, but
yeah,
just like a fun environment, especially if you're there on like a Sunday night watching football games, or the Patriots are on, or something like that.
For sure.
I just really enjoy, and there's always just like something going on in there, and the TV's in the bathrooms. You got all the memorabilia on the walls, and it's just kind of like a fun. I mean, it's definitely more for us dudes than it is.
Yeah, it's not a place that I would recommend taking a date.
No, my mom, not necessarily my mom's favorite.
Yeah, it's not Jen's favorite either.
She'd rather sit at the pool while we go watch the game.
For sure.
My Uncle Michael loves to make the joke every time we're there. We got some boneless wings and some boneless beer. I'm like, all right, yeah, never heard that joke before.
Right, there you go. But yeah, no, the thing about the ESPN Club again, is it really just gives us guys the opportunity to just sort of chill out, relax, watch the game, have a beer or two, head back to the room, hopefully your team won. So, for sure. So for me, number 4, we're heading over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which I know is one of your honorable mentions, but I'm going to Boma for breakfast. They have one of the best buffets, in my opinion. So when it comes to breakfast, I think there are a couple different options. I mean, you could go sit down at a place like Be Our Guest, which does, sort of a sit-down meal. Or you could go to a place like, the Garden Grill, which has an awesome breakfast. I don't want to take anything away from them either. But
Chef Mickey,
there's another one. Very good. But Boma, woo-wee, I really enjoy Boma very much. They've got the Jamba Juice over there. They have pancakes, French toast. Then they've also got some meat selections. And they have Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. And it's all you can eat. That's my kind of place right there for sure. So yeah, Boma rounded off, number 4 for me, and that was, again, thinking about breakfast, thinking about like a Garden Grill. Garden Grill's another honorable mention for me, way up there, but I wanted to pick Boma just because it is a buffet style as opposed to an all you can enjoy. So you can go up there and you can grab anything that you want as opposed to they're bringing you pre-selected items to your table.
What's the one in the beach club? Cape May Cafe.
Cape May Cafe.
Not bad either.
Not bad either. No, it's certainly up there. But for me, those are the ones that sort of stick out for breakfast for sure. So what is your number 3, Mr. Wookiee?
Going down to Disney Springs, Raglan Road.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've definitely talked about this before.
For sure.
But one of John's favorites too.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with really any of the food over there, but they have what's called nom nom wings.
Okay.
They're like sweet and spicy and
nice,
so good.
Right.
They recommend them.
Nice. The moment you sit down.
Oh yeah.
Here you go. You should try these.
Yeah. And then just because it's an Irish place.
Yeah.
It's called Shepherd's Pie. Shepherd's to Die For Pie.
Okay.
And it's shepherd's pie.
Yeah. But it's to die for.
It is to die for. Yeah, exactly.
That's good. No, that sounds really good. I think that's, you've mentioned a few places now at this point, and I think Raglan Road is one of those places that it sounds really cool. It sounds like a cool atmosphere.
Well, that's just it. It's like the entertainment that comes along with, a good meal.
Right.
But like to then have like a band come out and start playing, or have the girls tap dancing on the table.
Right.
There's a stage in the middle of the main room.
Yeah.
There's always something to watch when you're in there.
Right. It just adds a whole secondary level to, just eating. Which is pretty cool. So for me, my number 3 was, I actually wanted to include an all you can enjoy, and I wanted to get over to Magic Kingdom because I think that's where a lot of people spend their time. I know for us, it's one of our favorite parks. So to get something to eat over there, I picked Liberty Tree Tavern. So this is an all-you-can-enjoy spot. They bring over what's called the Patriots Platter, which I think is pretty cool because we're Patriot fans. But it includes turkey, pot roast, pork, mashed potatoes, vegetables, stuffing, and mac and cheese. It just is a full, hearty meal that really you can't go wrong. I mean, it's basically, there's something there for just about everybody. And at the end, they bring over like a strawberry shortcake with, some fresh picked blueberries. I mean, it's just top notch for sure. Really enjoy it over there. And I think for me, I try to bring up a drink that I get as well. They have a couple really nice alcoholic beverages here that I would definitely recommend checking out. But I think that if you were to get like a mimosa or just something to kind of go along with your meal, that's just a nice way to it's a nice little treat, to be in the Magic Kingdom, have a nice little beverage. But there's nothing specific over here that I wrote down that I have to get. I'm okay with just getting a Diet Coke, or as some of our, or some people say, a pop. Just give me a pop. I'm pretty good. So, but we're in our top 2 now. Mr. Wookiee, where are you heading?
I heard that Liberty Tree Tavern. Yeah. I want to say it was on one of Bonnie's pages.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posted like where should I go for Thanksgiving post,
Yeah.
and everybody was saying Liberty Tree, and I don't know if I've ever been there.
We've gone now a couple times, and it's very good. It's good. I mean, it made my top 5. I would definitely recommend it. It's great for a party like yours, where you're sort of trying to appease a lot of people and feed a lot of people. The only thing that I'll say at both, Liberty Tree Tavern and a place like Garden Grill is the mac and cheese does sort of leave a little bit to desired. Because I would think a place like this would make sort of like a homemade mac and cheese. It would have like a nice crust up on the top. But unfortunately, it's not necessarily like that. But what they do instead is they put goldfish on top.
Okay.
Which is actually, I know you just rolled your eyes a little bit, actually really pretty good.
It doesn't sounds wrong, but
no,
I'll take your word for it.
Believe me, it's actually pretty good.
All right, fair enough.
You gotta try it. Try it before you knock it. For sure.
I mean, yeah. I'll eat pretty much anything, so that's fine.
All right. Hit me with your number 2.
2 is, where did I write this down? Right here. The Yachtsman Steakhouse.
Oh wow!
Right at the beach club.
Yep.
So you can't really go wrong with anything at this restaurant. Everything is
top notch
and super expensive.
Very.
So that's why it's probably once every 2 trips kind of a restaurant.
For sure. No, so my wife and I, Jen, we went. After we got married, that was our first meal in Disney World. We went to the Yachtsman. It was much more expensive than what we normally pay for, but we had just gotten married, and this was sort of our opportunity to do something that we had never done before, and the meal was fantastic. I mean, you really can't go wrong with a meal like that, for sure.
And did Thomas cut your steak?
I actually, can be honest, I don't remember who our server was, but no one cut my steak for me, and no one fed it to me either, so...
All right, well, they don't feed it
4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Still would recommend.
You got to get Thomas now that Oscar's gone.
Yeah, Thomas, for sure.
No, he's never fed me the food.
I doubt that.
Okay.
I doubt that. I'm just kidding with you.
And they have the chocolate that we used to get as a kid. You remember those? Like it was like a puzzle. There's like a couple pieces.
Oh, no.
You didn't get them. All right.
I can't say that I remember getting chocolate.
They definitely
were they like dinner mints?
No. This is for like dessert. Like it's like a kid's dessert.
Oh.
But like when we were younger, me and my brother loved this. They give you like a couple. No, I don't still get it.
Right.
And maybe every once in a while, but they bring out like I think it's like 4 or 6 pieces of white chocolate.
Yeah.
And you got to put them together like a puzzle.
Huh.
And then they bring you like sugar with food coloring in it, and you can paint on it.
Oh wow, that's actually really pretty cool for a kid.
Yeah, so like Oscar would come over and help me and my brother paint our little.
Huh.
I think it's like a picture of Mickey Mouse on the chocolate or something like that.
That would make sense, but that's actually really pretty cool for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, I do have some good memories. Doing that. What's your number 2?
Oh, so my number 2 was a place that was one of your honorable mentions.
Okay.
Teppanyaki, for me and the wife, are top notch. I really enjoy just that atmosphere. I mean, you're walking over to Japan, and I think the food is usually above what you would expect for a hibachi place.
Yeah, I've never had a bad meal there.
Exactly. So I am always getting the Ice Blood Orange cocktail. I think it's one of the best ones over there. There's a couple that I've tried now. This one I think is the best. And I'm usually getting the filet mignon. So they're cooking that up, and you get a salad, you get the noodles, vegetables, rice, the whole kit and caboodle, really. It's just really, really good. You can also do some combinations over there, so you can do like steak and shrimp, or you can do steak and chicken. But for me, typically I'll just go with the filet mignon. It really always is very, very good, for sure. That brings us to your number 1.
What do you get to eat when you go to the Yachtsman? I kind of glossed over that.
So when I went to the Yachtsman, I got, I think it was just a center cut filet.
Yeah, you got to get a steak if you're going there.
Yeah. I even want to say they may have had a Wagyu option that I think I splurged and got.
Okay.
Which was just...
They have good seafood,
phenomenal.
too.
Yeah, so I stayed away from that. I think I had actually asked you for the recommendation, like, hey, what should I be looking at? What should I be getting? And you recommended the steak, so I just went that way, and I got the best one that I could because I just got married.
Yeah.
I just got married. I wanted to celebrate a little bit. And I think they actually, when we told them that we had just gotten married, they brought over like a glass of champagne for both of us that they didn't charge us for. So they did spread a little bit of Disney magic, which we don't really talk too much about on the show, but it was just really sweet. And I think they also brought us a dessert just to, sort of say, hey, congratulations. There's always moments like that, but I think so many people are expecting it when they go that you almost have to go with the expectation that it's not going to happen. And if you're not looking for it, that's when it will happen.
Yeah.
So we certainly weren't expecting it, and they graced us with a few really nice things.
The thing about Disney is, like we've talked about before, is they just hire genuinely good people.
For sure.
Like, you'd be surprised. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise, especially you, but to our listeners at this point, that I'm a pretty social guy.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at how easy it is to, like, I don't want to say make a friend, because that might be the only time you ever see them.
Mm-hmm.
But
to get a connection.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just me, but, like,
sure.
My favorite thing is when you're walking by, like, a cast member, and you see their name tag, and you just go, oh, hey, Ethan, and then they look up at you like you have 10 heads, and they're like, oh, like I'm wearing a name tag.
Right.
But
and then all of a sudden they're interested in you. Hey,
now they want they want to talk to you. Like, that's the thing. It's like they are genuinely interested in making sure you're having a good trip.
So, Mr. Wookiee, I'm excited to hear your number one spot. I think at this point I can figure it out, but
I think even our guests could probably figure it out. Our listeners could figure it out.
Yeah, our true listeners would know at this point what you haven't mentioned, and what is your number one spot to go to for dinner. Or I know that it's dinner, but where are you heading?
I am going to Via Napoli.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was pretty evident that was going to happen, but it's
just a little.
It's the best place. Like,
Real.
There's nothing better than just sitting down with, generally it's like my family, John, last year, my brother's girlfriend Rachel was there.
Nice.
My papa and Judy were there.
Yep.
So we just get a big long table and then get that jumbo-sized pizza that takes up like the whole table.
That's awesome.
With extra pepperoni.
All right.
And they fly that pepperoni in like from Italy.
Wow.
Like every couple days.
That's pretty cool. So I guess the pizza's a standalone. Are there any sort of appetizers or things that you can get along with it, or dessert that you just have to have every time you go?
There was a couple of appetizers that I loved getting there.
Sure.
But I don't think they're still on the menu.
Oh, wow.
Last time I was there, the pasta fagioli was not on the menu anymore.
Interesting.
Which was like my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's a great soup.
And then I have to imagine they still are because it's so Italian, but arancini, like the balls of the rice and the dough and the cheese. How can you not like that? You know what I mean? But I don't remember if it was on the menu last time I was there or not. But that's generally something my whole family gets.
Gotcha. Understood. So,
my other favorite thing, before you go on.
Please.
They hire, every country, pavilion hires workers from that actual country.
Yep.
Find a bad-looking Italian girl.
Okay.
I've met multiple of my future ex-wives at that restaurant.
You're only supposed to get married once.
Well,
that's
but they're all so pretty.
Yeah, well, maybe date a couple, see which one you like the most.
Or any of them. Yeah, I would date any of them.
Yeah.
If they're interested. I've handed out my number. I don't think...
Really? I don't know if I believe that.
I do. I swear I have.
All right. I'll have to ask your mom about that one.
I don't think they ever called, though.
No, probably
my
not.
phone must be broken.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it gets calls from Italian numbers.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they got to pay extra for that, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
No, I understand that for sure. All right, so my number one was a difficult one. I talk a lot about Chef de France and how much I enjoy it. And for whatever reason, this week I chose the sort of the opposite one of that, but same sort of theming in a sense. I chose Be Our Guest for dinner. I think what does this for me is just the ambiance. I've talked a lot about it, and I talked a lot about it in general, but to go into Beast Castle and sort of get in there and take a look at, you know, the roads and the library area and that center galley, it's just really, really beautiful. And for me, when I go there, again, there's not necessarily a glass of wine or a particular drink that I'm going after. I'm really okay with just a Coke. But the French onion soup is a must, and I'm always getting that center cut filet mignon, cooked medium rare, with some mashed potatoes, just nice hearty meal to end the day. And for me, what I really enjoy is, of course, the dessert, because you got to try the gray stuff, right? So they have, it's really quite cool. They have a white chocolate chip cup that is chip. It's got a little chip in it, just like Chip from Beauty and the Beast.
All right, I got you.
And it's got the gray stuff within it. And that's actually, it's really just pretty cool. But I think for me, what really does it is just the experience, the ambiance when you walk in the door. I mean, when you sit down at your table, there is a dish with a red napkin that's shaped as a rose. So really cool, really different. It's just a really wonderful place to sit down and just sort of have everything that you're experiencing right there in front of you. So that's my number one this week. But if you had asked me to do this, I don't know, 3 weeks from now, I'd probably tell you Chef de France. But for right now, that's my top 5. And I had a few honorable mentions. But I'm curious, Mr. Wookiee, what is your... After we've done this, we've kind of talked about some places that maybe you have been, I have been. Is there a particular spot that you really would like to go to?
Be Our Guest was actually one of the ones I had written down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that just seems like it would be a fun atmosphere, like a fun thing to just say you did.
Yeah, take in, for sure.
The other one that I had written down, I mean, Garden Grill, you've talked about so many times. I feel like I need to give that a chance.
Absolutely.
And I'm drawing a blank on the name of the restaurant, but the one inside of, I don't think I've ever eaten there, but the one inside of Mexico.
Yeah, that's my number one spot, or the place that I want to try the most. I did take a look at their menu. I want to get a margarita.
Oh yeah.
I want to get the sopa azteca, which is like a soup, tortilla soup, and I want to get their enchiladas de polo. Those sound phenomenal.
And you really butchered those.
Probably, yeah. Listen, I just read it as I read it. I said it as I read it. But for me, from you, and even Maggie, I want to try Via Napoli. I think that's a number one on my list. Raglan Road is another one that you've talked a lot about that just sounds like a cool, fun atmosphere, different from what I normally do, so I definitely want to try that. And then La Sierra, which I know you had a not so good experience with you and your dad, but Maggie talked about this place like it was very, very good, so I do want to try that as well. And I think, that was on your list. I do want to try the Rose and Crown. Now, I don't necessarily think that would be a trip that I'd be able to do with Jen, because she doesn't necessarily like the seafood aspect of it. But definitely, you said there were a couple other menu items on there that don't involve fish, so I think we could probably get over there and try
absolutely.
that for sure.
No, they have a lot on the menu. It's a lot of traditional British food though, like you said, the fish and chips, bangers and mash, it's a lot of stuff that you would see if you went to London.
To London, yeah, exactly, and wanted to try the actual.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant in Mexico? I was trying to look it up.
San Angel Inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that it overlooks the ride.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I would kind of like to. It just kind of looks nice in there.
Right, and that's similar to the idea of the Garden Grill.
Okay.
Because you're looking over Living with the Land.
Okay.
Which I think your dad would really like, because I know he's a fan of that.
Loves that, right?
And the food, it's just food that everyone would like. It's not top notch. It's not the Yachtsman, but it's a great atmosphere. And right now, they have the characters sort of walking up above you, so you can still see the characters because it is character dining. But really good spot, and definitely worth checking out for sure.
The other one that just came to my mind was, and we definitely talked about this once, the Jamboree there. What is it?
Oh goodness. It's over at the Wilderness Lodge. It's the dinner show. Oh goodness.
Hoop-de-doo review.
Hoop-de-doo review. Yes, that's got like all the barbecue flavors and.
Again, not top-notch food.
No,
but it's about the experience.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of what Disney is you're not going to go and you're not going to be able to sit down at a meal like Be Our Guest, like Chef de France, like the Yachtsman, and expect that level of quality of food everywhere you go. And I think that's sort of an expectation that you have to give yourself the moment you get there, is not everything's going to be 5 stars. It's going to maybe be 4 stars or 3 stars, but the experience is going to be 5. So certainly something to think about and sort of set that expectation properly, so that way you're not going in there and leaving disappointed. So the other one that I've heard a lot about is Ohana over at the Polynesian.
Yep.
I would love to go check that out as well. I think that would be really cool. And again, you also have sort of that character dining aspect because there's Lilo and Stitch there, so that's cool too. But yeah, I think that's another spot that I wouldn't mind going and checking out. And then, yeah, I think that's it for right now.
Mama Melrose.
Mama Melrose. That's
if you like Italian food, that's a really good one.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I mean the only other place. Well, actually, before I even get over there. I do want to try Brown and Derby.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been there.
Yep.
The only place I've ever really sat down to eat at Hollywood Studios is Mama Melrose.
Oh, okay.
So I would definitely like to try that. There's also, I think I've mentioned this before, but like if you walk off of the Beauty and the Beast show right near Tower of Terror Rock and Roller Coaster, there's like a burrito stand right there.
Yep.
Me and John got that like 3 days in a row, like a couple trips ago. It was so good.
Yeah.
It's like right where like the fruit stand is. It's right to the right of that, with like the oranges and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
It's right to the right of that.
Nice.
Very good. But I want to get over to the Oga's Cantina, the Star Wars Cantina.
Definitely. That's another stop for me as well. I'd like to get over there and check that out for sure. The one thing I wanted to say to you was the sci-fi movie Dine-In Theater. There's another spot at Hollywood Studios that food isn't great.
Not at all.
But the ambiance is really pretty cool.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I think they just need to work on the kitchen a little bit.
Yeah, kitchen needs some upgrading for sure. The only thing that I will say that the kitchen does do well is the milkshakes.
Okay.
Milkshakes there are phenomenal.
Well, kind of have to be.
Yeah, they need something to go for them.
And the what's the other one over there? To the left of the Indiana Jones show, that it almost looks like you're inside of like grandma's.
Oh yeah, there's the 50s Diner Cafe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Didn't remember having a great meal there either.
Yeah.
But like again, just a
fun idea, fun place to kind of just sit down and relax, but I agree, food wasn't necessarily the best. But
it's like really small too.
Right.
I don't know. I'm like not claustrophobic. I just felt cramped.
Tight.
Yeah.
Felt tight for sure. Well, Mr. Wookiee, that was
one more. Actually, just popped into my head.
All right.
When we went last, the new Avatar section.
Yeah.
That little quick service that they have back in the corner there.
I haven't been there yet.
Actually, really good.
Okay.
Like actually, really good.
I've seen some of the drinks come out of that place, and it looks really good.
Yeah, those are really good.
Okay.
I think it was like a tealish color.
Yeah.
I think there was 2 different ones.
But they come in like that long, big cup.
And it's cool because they have a couple different options as well. Like you can get a vegetarian option, chicken, steak, comes with rice, or you can kind of customize the meal to however, whatever your eating habits are. So I feel like it's kind of easy for
everybody.
Exactly. It's not a place where like you're going to, a couple of us are going to eat here and then we have to go somewhere else.
Right.
Like even like a picky eater, I feel like could
do well over there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was actually surprised at how good it was.
That's cool to hear. I think, sort of like we talked about, whenever you get there, you just sort of have to set the expectation that not every meal is going to be 5 stars. It's going to be 3 with a 5-star experience. So that's cool to hear. I'm excited to, just get back. I feel like it's been forever since I've been back, and usually at this point in the year, either we've been there twice at this point, but usually we're planning our third trip at this point, so it's just weird. We're looking at our October trip, and we're just
Do you
feeling.
think you'll go?
I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I don't know.
We're getting kind of close.
It is. We're a month away. We're just
When do you go?
October 7th. We would have flown out.
That's
and then
early in October too.
Yeah, so it's weird. It really is weird to think that I'm not going to go to Disney.
To think that you're going to choose to not go to Disney.
Right.
Like,
right. And it's not because I'm scared. It's not because of, anything like that. It's more along the lines of the state of Massachusetts is requiring that we stay home when we get back or take a COVID test, which I just think is ridiculous. I just don't understand it. So,
I mean, you're getting exposed to that many people.
yeah, I guess. But I'm also wearing the mask. I'm doing all the things that are out there, all the other things they're telling me to do. Staying away from people. I don't know. It just...
How are you going to be in line and stay away from people? Like, I know they're putting up, like, 6
The
feet.
6 feet stuff.
But come on.
I don't know.
Plus, like you were saying before, like, the kids running around touching everything and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right. I get it. It's just weird. It's just weird to think that you're going to go there. I don't know. I think I've got to almost talk to people who have been going and find out how their real experience was and what they really thought.
You'll see a lot of that, like, on Bonnie's page.
Yeah, I think I got to maybe catch up on some of those and see what his real true thoughts are. And
well, there's a lot of people just posting, like, has anybody gone recently? Like, how bad was it?
Yeah.
And you get, like, mixed reviews, really.
Of course. So I don't know what side of that review I'd be on.
And I've also seen, like, a lot of people, like, guess being kind of jerks to the cast members.
Yeah, I don't.
I've been hearing
that.
a lot of stories about that.
I can't go anywhere and be mean. I just can't. If you're mean to me, I'm all day. I can
make
throw
fun
it.
of me all you want,
I can throw it right back. But I'm not the type of person who's going to go somewhere and immediately be rude. I just don't have the ability to do that.
There's just people out there that think they're more important than everybody else.
That's horse doo-doo.
Good catch. Very
Thanks.
good catch.
Thank you. That is horse doo-doo. So, listen, at the end of the day, thanks again for being here, Mr. Wookiee. This has become our little tradition. We go golfing in the morning. We get a podcast out at night or in the afternoon. We do a nice little lunch in between. And, I have a lot of fun with you. It's really, pretty cool that we're starting to figure out more things. We're trying to grow. We're trying to do all that. So,
yeah, we're not recording from a phone anymore. We got a cool mic here. We're starting to take the steps.
Yeah, we're certainly trying. So
I think a video podcast would be the next step.
Yeah, I know
I've been hounding you on that. But
you have, and I think we've got a cool sort of new couch coming in soon that I think would be pretty neat to utilize that and see what sort of angles we can play with. And I also reached out to our friend Dap. I didn't tell you this.
No.
So Dap has a recording studio and sort of photography studio that he is pretty confident that he could get our show out utilizing video and sound and all those things. So, I reached out to him, asked him what sort of pricing looked like. I've got some, ideas on that. And I don't know if we're at that point quite yet, but it's certainly cool to think about and certainly cool to think that we could be at that point at some point.
I mean, we just got to keep growing the way we're growing. We need our fans to keep liking, sharing, posting.
Yeah, and feel free to get involved. We certainly still want to we have a few people that are lined up, and we sort of put them on hold for a little bit while we tried to figure out, more about how to do a podcast. I think we're very aware of how a podcast works, but we're still trying to learn sort of the ins and outs and the audio and the microphone and all those things and how it's going to play out and the editing and all of those other things. It's a lot. It really is. And the Anchor app makes it a lot easier, but we're trying to, sort of become a little bit more, high-tech than that, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. So hopefully you're enjoying this. Hopefully you're enjoying us.
I think from what I can hear in my ear here, it sounds a lot better.
It does. I think we're heading in the right direction, and hopefully this is easy enough to edit and put all together because we've had to do a few different segments here, but hopefully you all enjoyed the new music. I had a lot of fun sort of putting that together. and hopefully I can put something together for our little break that we usually do. And usually I'm utilizing the Anchor stuff to do that. So this will be different for sure.
A little more hands-on.
A little more hands-on. Yeah, they should pay me a little bit more. I don't know if they're going to be sending me any type of check anytime soon. But either way, it's fun. It's been cool to learn these things. And
it's crazy to think we're coming up on episode... This is 29.
Holy cow. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of cool to think that at 52, that'll be sort of like a year. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. I think for me, and I'm sorry.
I think we've only missed 1 week.
I think we did miss 1 week, and that was
1 week you had some stuff going on.
Yeah, and it was really just I went back to work. COVID stopped, and we went back to work, and I just had to sort of put everything back into perspective and make the time to continue doing this. Mm-hmm. So that was a tough week, and we ended up putting out a couple additional episodes in between then and there, and I think at some point that'll move over to the additional episodes. We'll go over to like a Patreon. I think that's sort of the plan, but
if we keep growing the way we're growing, we should have some Wolf of Disney merch coming out at some point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that would be really cool. But we say all these things, but it's still we're taking baby steps for sure. We're just going to continue to give you the best content that we can think of, and usually it's on the fly, to be truthful. But we have a lot of fun doing this, and Mr. Wookiee, I'm glad that you're here to sort of share in it all, for sure.
Absolutely.
Wolfpack, as always, I'm going to ask you to be kind, wash your hands, and we will.
We'll see you real soon.
Yes, indeed, we will.